ultimately, the technology, all of the processes, all these things have to be innovated. But isn't it time? Is it not time to enter the Great Contact Center Challenge where we innovate on the people side?
Yeah, and the industry has done so much and has had many advancements with process and like Six Sigma and analytics and technology and doing all these things. But I guess what we found is, hey, the real innovation now and what really moves the needle is this whole thing around the people, as you just said. So if you can make this a better place for the people, serving people, that is kind of the key. And then, as we go through this, and it's kind of the why are we doing this kind of question, and I'll try and answer that, and you can give your bent on this. And it's this idea of, so it's not just the contact center challenge, it's the Great Contact Center Challenge. And what do we mean by great? Is because we've been on this journey and we've seen some amazing things, but the journey, we're still at the early stages. And this idea of great is, quite honestly, people think we're crazy, but we want to change the industry. We truly want to do that. And the things that we see and having these discussions, and we'll have guests who provide insight, because we want to do this together, and it's together how we can change the industry. So we want people to join us, for every episode, and hopefully in this journey together we can do this, and it's getting more people involved in this whole process.
Yeah, I think it is the Great Contact Center. I would suggest it's the ultimate contact center challenge, and the reason I would say that it is great, it's ultimate. If you think about all the other challenges, well, let's put it this way. I think the way you look at the challenge is the way you look at the industry. If you think the ultimate challenge is how do we eliminate people from the equation? How do we implement technology? How do we get this so that you never have to talk to another human, right?
Yeah.
If I didn't have to have employees handling customers, I mean, wow, what a great thing. If your mentality is that direction, you're probably not going to understand a lot of what we're getting at here.
What we're focused on as the real challenge of the Great Contact Center Challenge is really truly to make this an industry where people love working in it. They love their jobs and they find it, kind of worthwhile. So to me, in a sense, I think that's what we're trying to do. And that's different than what a lot of other people, might focus on. And there's a lot of important things, about the metrics and everything else. But we have found if people truly love their job in this industry, all those metrics fall into place, and you have the win-win-win.
It's not easy to get everything moving in the right direction, particularly in our industry, in the contact center industry on a given day. There are a lot of moving pieces and things. But what I will say is, over a period of time, I have seen people successfully negotiate the challenge and get through it.
I know in my career and in the companies I've worked with, we've come at it of saying, hey, the employee experience and the agent experience, here's how we're going to make it a great job. But what did we find? What do you think is really important when we, in a sense, started to take a look at it from the employee's point of view about what they wanted?
Well, that is an interesting question, because I would say that I was taught and essentially guided early in my career, not only here but for sure in others. I mean, I started at a very young age at McDonald's in management, and they taught us even back in those days that even though people aren't necessarily working entirely for the money, that money is one reason, obviously, we work, that there is more to it. We were also taught that you could create the experience. You were the one who made the difference. Then they gave us a specific set of ways of doing that. And you do this, and you do this. And so I think we have a tendency, especially in a high volume, high number of employees, a lot of people situation like we have in this industry, I think we naturally want to command and control. And
Yeah.
I think we even command and control saying, we're going to make things better for you. So I'm going to
Yes.
control every bit of
You will
everything
love
you
this
do.
job.
That's right. And if you don't love it, I'm going to analyze why you don't love it, change everything, and see. It's almost like we don't believe that people can really build their own experience. So
Yeah.
when you ask what is the number one thing I've realized over the last few years, I think it's really that people will build their own positive experience in any environment, including work, if given the opportunity. And I
Hmm.
think the question that I have had to ask myself is, how much have I ripped away that opportunity over the years by creating processes, by implementing certain technologies, by doing all
Yeah.
these things thinking I'm making things better. But am I
Yeah.
really? For the person? I don't know.
So, I think the big thing, what we're talking about is the challenge is the job. If people enjoy the job that they do every day, that drives the, significant. That is the big lever. If you're going to pull a lever, that's the lever to pull because you'll see the dramatic impact in reducing
Yeah.
turnover, high engagement, high performance.
But I guess I have to ask the question, do you think that management can change to evolve to that? And here's why I say that is because a lot of the people we talk to over the years, and myself included, I'm not going to take myself out of this,
Yeah.
wonder how much responsibility do we have as a leadership team for someone else's sense that the job is worthwhile. I mean, isn't that
Yeah.
them, right? So we always talk about maybe we just need to hire the right people, because if they
Yeah.
don't like the job, maybe this job's not for them. Or, and in all of this, my concern really is that we as an industry and I'm generalizing here, of course, but
Yeah.
I think if you can tell me if you agree or not, we have said that nobody really likes this business in a sense. I mean, they
Yeah.
like it for a lot of reasons, but who wants to talk to customers every day who are yelling at you? Who wants to handle other people's problems 30 or 40 times a day? So let's create systems and methods to take the mind off of that. So I mean, we've been to
Yeah.
places where they have the, four-star chef dining, which is wonderful. They have roller skating rinks. They have parties. I've seen people walking the aisles. I used to work with people that roller skated down the aisles to keep things exciting. I mean, there's playing music and doing all these things to say, we know the work stinks. So
Yeah.
what can we do to get you through your day? I think that to me is where the problem starts in the challenge. I think the challenge
Yeah.
is to change the mindset that, hey, you know what, this can be a really good job.
Correct. Because if you don't believe it can be a really good job, um, you do other things.
That's
Is
right.
basically
Right.
what we're saying. You
Yeah.
you try and do other things outside of the actual job to make it better. But once again, if you can focus on, and like we said, we've seen it, we know the research, and we know really some of the challenges of what makes it a miserable job are some of the things you need to eliminate. And unfortunately, a lot of the things we do is in kind of management um, makes it miserable.
Yeah. But aren't we forced into that as management just by the nature of the business? We've got calls
Yeah,
we have
got
to
to
take.
drive
We
the
have to have
metrics, got to
people.
do this, got to
That's right.
get,
You got to have the right people in the right place, the right time. The old adage
yeah.
of what this business is about.
Well, I found the greatest hope because that's what we want to give everybody because, we want to give you hope that this can
Yeah.
be done and it's a worthwhile, challenge to go after. Um, and where I got so much of the hope and really what led us to this is you've been always so good at asking in focus groups, you know, agents in a sense, like, what's the best part of this job? And it's amazing how it is so consistent. The number one answer is it's when I go above and beyond for a customer and really make their day. It's like that's that's absolutely beautiful because that's what
Yeah.
in a sense management wants them to do. It's what the customer wants. So it's that win-win-win. Hey, but the challenge is how do we make that happen often enough
Yeah.
so that they find the job worthwhile?
Because what we're saying is the ultimate challenge is to make it meaningful, to make it worthwhile.
Yeah.
And the great part of that challenge is when we do, what a great industry it will be to work in.
Yeah,
Now, yes,
we've seen it. We've worked with companies. So
yeah,
the hope is there. It's exciting. So, hey, everybody, join us each week, subscribe, send it to others. And a big thing that we want to do is we want comments. We want to know, you know,
yeah,
uh, hey, what you thought of the episode, but also what you might think of, upcoming episodes and what you want to see.
yeah. What do you want to
So,
see? But also, what do you think about the challenge? Put
yeah.
some comments here about what you think and how you see the challenge in this industry. And maybe together we can find a way to make it a great place, an absolute great place to work all the time.
Awesome. All right. Well, until next time, take care.